बंदा में शुरू कर सकते हैं।
Okay. Today is the fourth week, and today's topic is matter in Jain philosophy and science. Before we start our discussion, I would like to share the presentation. So matter in Jain philosophy, first we would discuss on this presentation. We have learned about soul and other non-living substances except matter. In this lecture, we would cover on matter. So according to Jain metaphysics, the most visible or perceptible form of a non-living substance is matter, and it exists in the universe, not outside of the universe. And it exists in various forms. For example, earth, water, fire, air, shadow, objects of four senses, physical mind, speech, bodies, etc. So whatever we are perceiving in our surrounding, all those things, either they are living matter or non-living matter. Matter is not living in itself, but it is associated with some soul, then it is a living body. So matter is tangible reality within the sensuous and supersensuous experiences and perceptible and imperceptible conditions. So we know that it is only the matter which can be tangible or can be perceptible to our senses. All other four substances which we have seen as soul, the medium of motion, the medium of rest, space, and time, all are imperceptible. They cannot be seen or detected through any physical instrument or senses. So matter is permanent. All other substances are also permanent. Matter is also permanent. It is extensive, physical, corporeal, concrete, active, disintegrating, integrating, and integrating, and changeable substance. So we know that matter has all these qualities. It is extensive in the sense that it can spread or it can be what we say added some other atoms and can be given more bigger form. So matter possesses sense perceptible attributes like color, smell, taste, and touch. All of these are concomitant. It means that they all are found together in one and the same object. So, and these are the four essential qualities which you will find in each and every material body, whether it is atom, whether it is four touch substance or aggregate, or whether it is eight touch material body. So the ultimate indivisible unit of matter is called Parman. So in science, there is term atom, but nowadays science is saying that the atom is divisible. So we would not like to compare this atom Parmanu with the term atom of science, which is divisible, while Parmanu is indivisible, the smallest unit of physical entity. All matter and energy are aggregates of Parmanus. So you can see that all these objects which we are able to perceive through our senses or which we can detect through any instrument, they are the composite bodies of these atoms. Parmanu can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. It is eternal. It possesses sense qualities. It cannot be an object of sense perception since it is very subtle, very microscopic entity. So we can see that the everything which we are perceiving is made of these Parmanus, but Parmanus themselves are not perceptible to our senses and even the instruments of today's science. All mutation of matter must possess all the four qualities as follows. So I have already said that these color, smell, touch, and taste, these are the essential qualities of each and every material body, whether it is Parmanu or whether it is an aggregate. So we find five types of primary colors: black, blue, red, yellow, and white. All other colors are either combinations of these five primary colors, or we can say that they have come out of all these different five colors. Five types of taste are there: sweet, bitter, pungent, sour, and astringent. So these are the primary tastes which have been considered as the essential qualities of the matter. Two types of colors are found, good and bad, and eight types of touch: cold, hot, smooth, rough, light, heavy, soft, and hard. So these eight types of touches are found in especially in the gross material bodies. And so far as the atom is concerned, it has only two touches, whether it is having either cold or hot or rough and smooth or smooth. So the atom is having hardly two touches, and some other material aggregates with they are having four touches, and those we material bodies which we are able to perceive in our surrounding or which we are using, they all are made of eight touches. All colors, tastes, and smells can vary in degree, and a large range of colors, tastes, and smells are possible. So it is not necessary that all objects are having all the colors and all these attributes in a prominent form. But yes, you can see that in different objects and different colors, which are prominent in them, but they are having also other colors. So in according to the in depending on the variation of the degrees of these qualities, you can find hundreds of such kind of objects in the world, or you can say infinite number of the objects in the world. Based on above qualities, the material substances in nature of three types. So, as I have said, that depending on the touch, number of touch, we find three types of materials or matter in the world. The first is substance having one color, one smell, one taste, and two touches. And this substance is known as atom, or sorry, Parmanu. So Parmanu is having just one color, one smell, one taste, and two touches. And the two touches, either it must be cold or hot, or smooth or rough. So out of these two pairs, each atom would have only one of the pair in it. So this is the fundamental. These are the fundamental qualities, or you can say attributes of an a Parmanu. Second is substance having five colors, two smells, five taste, and four touches. So this kind of aggregates you will find in the form of speech material, in the form of thought, what we say thought material, or we can say Mano Vargana Pudgal, and the carbon Vargana Pudgal means the material which is being composed by the karmic particles. So they are having such kind of qualities. The gross material or material objects which we are perceiving or using in our day-to-day life in different forms, they are having five colors, two smells, five tastes, and eight touches. Yes, but these qualities may be prominent and in dominant forms. You will not find that each object is having five colors in a prominent form. One can be prominent and others can be dominant, but yes, each and every gross object which we are perceiving through our senses or using in our day-to-day life, they are having five colors, two smells, five tastes, and eight touches. Parmanu is the two-touch substance. As I have said, it has only one color, one smell, and one taste. The four-touch substances comprise the subtle class of matter uh, as aggregates which exist as energy. So nowadays, at present, we are using the word energy for those subtle matter which are not perceptible to us, but they are existing or working, or they have their own effect or function. So these kind of energies which are imperceptible, very subtle, having four touches, they are being recognized in modern terminology as energies. This matter has five colors, two smells, and five tastes. The eight touch substances constitute the gross class of aggregates comprising energy and matter. There are certain energies which can be felt or which can be detected. So those things, those energies and material objects are having eight kind of touches. So all the eight types of touches are found in the gross material objects or entities. These aggregates have five colors, two smells, and five tastes. According to Jain philosophy, all aggregates containing a large number of Parmanus necessarily possess all colors, smells, and tastes. Generally, only one or a few of the colors, smells, and tastes manifest at a time. The others remain unmanifest. For example, some colors, smells, and tastes manifest in a fruit in the green state, and other colors, smells, and tastes manifest in the ripened state. So you can see that how the colors change with time, or the smell changes with time, or taste changes with the time when we find that the fruit is in raw form or ripened form. Cold, hot, smooth, and rough are primary is touches. They are found in every matter also, but just we have already seen that the Parmanu will have just one of them out of these two types of pairs of touches. And the smooth touch is now regarded as positive charge and the rough as negative charge. So nowadays, the terminology of modern science for these rough and what we say smooth touch is negative and positive energy. So because of these two electrical charges, the atoms are coming together and combining and giving form to some aggregate. The other four touch qualities like light, heavy, soft, and hard are secondary touch qualities, and these touch qualities are supposed to develop when bonding between infinite Parmanus produces a gross aggregate. So the main point behind this thing is that these four touches are not the original ones; they are coming into play because of the combinations of the four primary touches. And they are perceptible only in the gross material objects and not in the subtle ones, which are imperceptible, or you can say, which are having just two touches or four touches. If number of negative Parmanus is more in the bonding process, the aggregate contains light touch quality, and if positive Parmanus are more than heavy touch is produced in the aggregate. So how they are generating with the combinations of these primary touches. So it is said that when there is a number of negative Parmanus is more in an aggregate, then aggregate would be little bit light. And if there is a positive Parmanus are more in number, then the production would have some kind of a heavy touch. When positive Parmanus are in majority and they bond in cold condition, softer touch is produced. So you can see that when this smooth atoms or a smooth touch is there with cold touch, then it gives softness in the object. And if negative permanus are more and they are combining with the hot touch, then you will see that there is hard touch in the objects. So the four touch aggregates and permanus are supposed to be massless. This is a very new concept. We can say that massless atoms have also been considered in Jainism in the form of made permanus and in the form of four touch aggregates. They are massless. You don't find any kind of heaviness or mass in such kind of subtle material entities. The subtle does not remain subtle and gross does not remain gross for all the times. The subtle may change to gross and the gross may change to subtle form. So it is not necessary that subtle and gross would always be in the same form forever. They can be interchangeable or they can change with time. Subtle can be gross and gross can be subtle by dividing. Now we would see that there is a classification of matter in Jainism from very different angles, and there are three types of classifications. You can see the first we have to understand that substance-wise, infinite parmanus are existing in the universe, and they are independent. They are in free state. So in a combination with infinite composite bodies. So you can see that they are composing some aggregates, and those aggregates have been recognized as skandhas. So the Parmanu is unitary single substance, and it is in free state in infinite number. But at the same time, you will find in the same space point, there are infinite number of aggregates or skandhas or molecules or compounds, or you can say such kind of combinations of the atoms, in which we find many more atoms which are combined together and giving rise to such kind of aggregates or compounds. Now, space-wise, so here first we are understanding the concept of matter from different angles. So substance-wise, we have understood, and that is the main entity. The space-wise, each and every space point of cosmos is occupied by infinite number of Parmanus. There is not a single space point where there is neither Parmanu nor a composite body. According to Jain cosmology, there is no vacuum anywhere in this cosmos. That is, the entire cosmos is plenum. So you can see that science thinks that there is some space which is completely vacuum. There is nothing. But according to Jainism, each and every space point is having infinite number of atoms, infinite number of subtle aggregates, infinite number of gross aggregates even. So nowadays we are listening to one new concept, and that is of black matter according to modern science. And they say that there is a lot of such kind of matter which is imperceptible for them or undetectable, but it is existing in a space. So this kind of material bodies or entities you can find in each and every space point. So there is infinite number of such kind of material entities in each and every space point that can be considered as black matter, since at present the science is not able to say about that kind of matter. Time-wise, the physical existence is eternal and indestructible. Not a single Parmanu is created or destroyed. So we have to understand that matter is also eternal like the soul. Soul is eternal and the matter is also eternal. It never ceases to exist. It remains always in its existence. So matter is also eternal, but at the same time, it is undergoing the various types of changes because of the color properties, because of the touch properties, because of the smell properties, or because of the what we say, test qualities. Now, attribute-wise, it is said that it is substratum of infinite qualities, making infinite types of matter. So I have already said that since it has so many such qualities, and because of the combination and permutations of all these different qualities, matter can be listed in thousands or hundreds or infinite number of atoms. Material and what we say, bodies. Now we would see that there are three types of matter. The matter can be classified into three types in respect of the cause or of transformation. So we can see that there are three types of matter in the world. One matter which is said as living matter. The technical term for this kind of matter in the Jain scriptures is prayog parinat. It means that the matter which is taken in and transformed into body form by vital processes of living beings. For example, our bodies. This body is created by our own inner self with the support of the karmic material and other gross physical material. So these kind of materials have taken the form of our bodies, and these bodies are known as living matter. There are certain bodies which have been left by the living beings. For example, those human beings or animal beings die, their bodies remain after. So that body is considered as past living matter. So the matter which was associated at some time with living beings in the past, but is now abandoned by them and undergoes self-transformation. So after giving left the bodies, the body gets changes by itself. So that kind of changes have been considered as past living material, or this kind of bodies are considered as past living material because first they were created by some living being and after they are undergoing changes according to their own nature. Non-living material are considered as Vishrasa Parinat. It means there are certain matter which are undergoing natural transformation without interaction or interference of living beings. For example, the clouds are coming into existence or rainbow is being created by nature, or there are certain such kind of things. So they are coming into play or existence by some natural process, and there is no role of living beings to create such kind of a natural phenomena. Taking a comparative view, the amount of body matter is least of all. The past living matter is infinite times more, and the non-living matter is still infinite times more than this. So you can see that what kind of matter is available in what quantity. So the matter which we are perceiving in our surrounding or in our physical world, that is the least amount of the total matter. And the past living material is infinite times more or greater in quantity in comparison to the first one. And the third category of matter is abundant, as abundance in quantity. So you can see that this is the what is the quantity of the matter. Now we would see that there are 6 types of matter which have been classified on the basis of their subtlety or their grossness. So what is the concept of gross and what is the concept of subtle? First, we have to understand this one. And then we would like to see what are the 6 types of material aggregates or entities which are found on the basis of these 2 qualities. So gross means you can say macro. So growth is that which prevents other substances to pass through it and which can be stopped by others on which or which cannot occupy space which is already occupied by other substances, especially the material substances, or which cannot pass through others. So this is the criteria for the being something gross, or you can say macro. The subtle or micro entities are those which does not hinder others and cannot be hindered by others, or which can occupy the space which is already occupied by some other such kind of entities, or can pass through others. So for example, here it is this is not the exactly the appropriate example, but it is shown here that a mustard seed is smaller in size than a drop of water. But whereas water can pass through a cloth, the mustard seed cannot. So therefore, water is subtle and mustard is gross. So how the what kind of penetrability is found in the some material entity or aggregate. Depending on that, we can just classify that whether they are subtle or whether they are gross. So now from the point of view of penetrability, matter is divided into 6 classes. The first class is known as gross. That is very gross. This kind consists of very large solid aggregates of matter such as mountains, rocks, wood, etc., which do not unite by themselves when broken or divided. And also such bodies which can be physically transported without containers. So this is the material which is known as gross. The second category is known as gross. This kind consists of large aggregates of matter in fluid form. For example, water, oil, milk, juice, air, etc., that unite again by themselves when they are divided and which have to be carried in containers. So this is all types of liquids you can see, and they come under the gross category. Now the third one is gross subtle. This kind consists of aggregates which can neither be cut nor broken nor can be physically transported but are visible. For example, light, shadow, image, etc. So light is also a kind of material aggregates which produces light. And the shadow is also made of some material aggregates, and image is also like that. But they cannot be carried, or they cannot be put into any container, but we are perceiving them. Subtle growth, this kind consists of aggregates which are not visible but can be perceived by other 4 senses. For example, aggregates of sound, taste, smell, and touch. Subtle, these aggregates are not perceivable by any sense organ. However, they interact with soul and are transformed by it in the form of touch, thought or speech or karma. So since it is having 4 types of touches in it, so it is not visible to all of us, but yes, they are also existing and they have effect on soul or on our consciousness. Subtle or extra subtle, you can say. So this kind consists of aggregates which are so subtle that they do not interact even with the soul. Now we would see that how the integration takes place between the uh, free Parmanus. So all physical objects are produced either by integration process or disintegration process. Integration is of 2 types, natural and made by living organisms. So the natural kind is again of 2 types, with a definite beginning and without a beginning. Some instances of natural integration which have beginning are clouds, lightning, shadows, or sorry, rainbow, etc. Integration made by living organisms necessarily has a definite beginning and can be divided into two categories. One is called integration of one kind of matter with another, for example, production of chemical compounds, and the second is combination of matter with soul. The last one is again of two types, bondage of karma and no karma bondage, combination of other types of matter with soul. So these are two types of material bodies which are closely associated with the living entities, or you can say soul, and the soul is interacting constantly with these kind of two types of material bodies. Jain philosophy provides elaborate rules for bonding between the Parmanus, and bonding takes place due to positive and negative charges of Parmanus. Though Parmanus are having smell qualities also, taste qualities also, and color properties also. But especially these two types of touch out of the eight are responsible for the combinations of the Parmanus. So the charge of a Parmanu varies in a range. Q is a minimum quantity, you can say, or quantity. So be the minimum charge, positive, Q plus or negative Q minus, and that the charge increase in multiples of 1, 2, or 3, etc. units. The Parmanu can have charge uh, in one atom you can find just a minimum number. In second atom Parmanu you can find two numbers or three numbers or four numbers or infinite numbers. So this kind of atoms you will find, but we have to see that what kind of how much number of the touch quantities are required, or degrees are required uh, for a atom, for a Parmanu to combine with the other one. So that there are certain such kind of rules and regulations or laws for that. So we will discuss in succeeding slide. But here just we can say that these positive and negative touches are found in different degrees and number in atoms, and depending on their conditions, they get combined. So the rules for bonding between Parmanus are given in table 1, which we will see in the next slide. It is seen that there is some variation in the rules of bonding in Shvetambara tradition and also in the Digambara tradition. So there are two main traditions of Jainism. One is Shvetambara and Digambara. Both are having some difference of opinion regarding the bonding of bonding process of the Parmanus. In both traditions, a Parmanu having a minimum charge does not bond with other Parmanu. So it is very commonly or unanimously accepted in both the traditions that if one atom is combining with other one, then it must not have the minimum degree of the touches. The touch, either it is a smooth touch or it is dry touch. These are two types of touches which are responsible for combining the atoms, but the both the atoms which are combining with each other must not have the minimum degree. It means the 1 degree or single degree will not work for their combination. If charge is more than the minimum value and differs by 2 units and more than 2 Parmanus can bond according to both the traditions. So this is also very unanimously accepted that if both the atoms, both the Parmanus are having minimum 2 degrees or more than that, then they can combine together. Now this is the chart according to the Shvetambara tradition and Digambara traditions. You are finding here that what are the rules for combination of different atoms. So if we find that there is just one single value or you can single degree or 1 degree of qualities, whether it is smooth or whether it is dry or positive or negative charges, you can say. So if there is only 1 degree charges in the atoms, which are in the Parmanus, which are combining together, then they cannot combine according to the Gamba tradition or Shvetamba tradition. If the atom, if one atom is having just a single degree of positive or negative charge, and if the other one is having 2 degrees, then also they cannot combine together. Similarly, if one atom is having single degree and the other one is having 3 degree or 4 degree or infinite degree even, but they cannot combine together until and unless both the atoms are having 2 or more degrees. So far as the one atom is having 2 degrees of smooth or positive charge, and the other one is also having uh, 2 degrees of positive charge, then we can see that they cannot combine, because they must have at least difference of 2 degrees. It means the one atom should have 2 degrees, then the other one should have at least 4 degrees of touch positive charge, then only they can combine together. So this is the rule for the similar charge, means the positive Parmanu is combining with positive one, then it must have difference of 2 degrees. But so far as the number, some dissimilar charge Parmanus are concerned, if they are combining with each other and having 2 degrees, then they can combine together. For example, if the atom is one atom is having 2 degrees of positive charge and the other one is having 2 degrees of negative charge, then they can combine together. There is no such condition for them that the other one must have at least a 2 degree difference from the one. But here we can say similar charge Parmanu. Yeah, so similar charge Parmanu cannot combine. Now we can see that if the one Parmanu is having 2 degree charge and the other one is having 3 degree degrees, then they cannot combine if they are of similar charges. But yeah, but if they are dissimilar, they can combine together according to Shvetamba tradition, but according to Digamba tradition, they cannot combine similar charges. And now this next is the Parmanu is having 2 degrees and the other one is having 4 degrees. Then if they are of same charges, they can combine together. And yes, if they are dissimilar, then also they can combine together. And according to the tradition also, they can combine together. So you can see here that the Digamba tradition accepts that there must be at least 2 degrees difference between the two Parmanus when they are combining together, whether they are having positive charge or whether they are having negative charge. So this is what we have seen, that what kind of rules and regulations or laws which are working behind the combination of the atoms. So the bonding of Parmanus is an important principle in the form to create such kind of aggregate composites. The rules prescribed for bonding are very comprehensive and describe the way composites are formed at all levels, whether micro or macro in nature. So these are the very important things which we have to learn in regard to the combinations of Parmanus. Parmanu, now we are focusing on the concept of Parmanu. What is Parmanu? So Parmanu is the basis, or you can say ultimate constant or the smallest unit of the physical world. It is indivisible, indestructible, impenetrable, incombustible, and imperceptible to sense organs. It cannot be displayed or destroyed by any means whatsoever. So we are finding that there is atomic explosions, but yes, in explosions also the atoms in the science, in the language of science, are dispersing from each other, or they are dividing or separating from each other. But so far as the Parmanu is concerned, it is never divided by any means. Parmanu is a 2 point. It has no half portion, no middle portion, and no length, no breadth, no depth. And that's why it is considered as dimensionless. It has no dimension. A Parmanu has one of the 5 primary colors, one of the 2 smells, one of the 5 tastes, and 2 of the 4 primary touches. Either one either hot or cold, or 2 either small or smooth or rough touch. A single free Parmanu is indivisible or invisible, not only to the naked eyes, but to any instrument. Though we have seen so many studies on Parmanus, you can say, in the terms of science, but those are just, they are doing a study on their effect, or you can say action or reaction, but it is not that they are perceiving those Parmanus or smallest particles or indivisible particles of matter directly through any instrument or through any senses. Its existence is to be inferred by the uh, collective action and reaction of infinite Parmanus. So we can just see the effect, or we can just infer through aggregates which we are able to perceive, but it is not possible to see them directly. Parmanu never loses its identity, even though it participates in the union of produce composite bodies. Thus, not a single Parmanu is destroyed, nor a new one is created. The total number of Parmanu is eternally the same. So it is said that the matter is constant in quantity in the universe. There is no single atom which is newly created, or there is no single atom which is destroyed forever. So everything is constant in number, especially the original fundamental entities. And a composite body of infinite number of Parmanus may occupy a single space point. Yeah, it is the quality of matter that it can contract itself to the extent that it can be occupied even in a single space point, in spite of having the composition of infinite number of Parmanus. There is not a single space point in the whole of a cosmos which is not occupied by Parmanus, as we have already discussed at this point. And it cannot, however, cross the boundary of cosmos, since medium of motion is absent in the transcosmic space. So we have also seen that the medium of motion and the medium of rest, which are supporting in motion and rest of all the mobile entities, they are not found out of the universe or cosmic space, and that's why the matter and all the living entities are confined to the limit of the cosmic space. They are not able to cross the cosmic space limit and go to the transcosmic space. So this is what I have discussed about the matter in Jain philosophy, though there are other classification. And in that classification, we will find 23 types of material entities in the universe. If time will permit, I will discuss it. But before, if you have some questions regarding the discussion which I have done, please let me know first.
Mandami naman sa amin.
Yes.
Samnijit, I have a question. Before the question, It is very complex, but you have explained it very well. My question is, how is shadow considered a matter? Because we know light is a matter. It's composed of subtle matter, but shadow is new.
Yes. So according to Jainism, there are certain such kind of material aggregates which create this kind of shadows. So for example, whenever some photographers takes our photos, what they are doing? They are taking the photos of our shadows. Okay. They are, we can say that Bimba and Pratibimba, what is the reflections. Clear? So shadows are also being created by such kind of material aggregates, and that's why, according to Jainism, it is not just what we are going somewhere and there is shadow of our body, and that shadow is nothing or not separate from our body, but it is also a kind of matter which is perceptible to your eyes, no? Clearly. Yes.
And my other question is, time has only Parmanus.
Yes.
Right?
Time has
Only Parmanus, the non-aggregate, because it
time.
is
Yes. Okay. So it is said that the time means the real time is only the present moment.
right. Only
Is
one.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it has no connection with the past moment because it is already gone on. It is already what we say destroyed, and the future time is to come.
Yeah.
So it is always unitary, single point, time point. Okay.
Right.
That's why it is said that it has no aggregate.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
मेरा सवाल है, कर्म जो आत्मा के साथ टपकते हैं वो चतुष्पर्शी क्यों है? माने वर्गणा तो अपने बोलते हैं, अष्टस्पर्शी भी है, तो ये एक्सप्लेन करिए आप.
Correct. See, we don't say that all the Varganas are of 8 touch. Okay. Only 5 types of Varganas can be considered as 8 touch for Odarik, Vikri, Aharak, Tejas, and next is Bhasha. No, 8 touches. So maybe Bhasha. But Mano Vargana and Swasochvas Vargana and what we say, next one is Ayushya Vargana. So these Odarik, Vekri, Aharak, Tejas, Karman, Mano Vargana, Vachan Vargana, or Swasosvas Vargana. So Bhasha, the language, the particles which are being used in our speech, and the matter which is being used in forming our thoughts, and also Karman Vargana, the atoms which are being used in forming the karmic body, they are having only 4 touches. Okay. So why they are so? It is the nature. It is the nature of the matter, certain type of matter. Since the karmic materials are so subtle, so they are not gross. They are not having those all the 8 other 4 touches. So they are considered as 4 touches. So it is their own nature. So there is no question about the nature actually. Clear?
एक और सवाल है बंदामी, ये जो अपने शब्द हैं जो हम बोलते हैं वो चेतन है या अचेतन? माने पदार्थ है कि नहीं है?
एक मिनट, कैन यू रिपीट द सेम क्वेश्चन प्लीज? वो बीच में कॉल आ गया था तो.
मेरा सवाल है, शब्द जो कि आकाश में रहते हैं, और आचार्य महाप्रभु जी ने कहा कि आजकल टेलीपैथी से रिसर्च की जा रही है कि आज से लाखों साल पहले की बात है वो भी पकड़ सके, तो थोड़ा बताइए.
Okay, so whenever we speak, the words come out of our mouth. Clear? They are in the form of material aggregates of speech, and they remain in the same condition for sometimes for thousands of years. Some may discrete or some may destroy after a certain time. If it depends on the speaker, who is speaking. If the speaker is very strong, the words are very, what we say, formed in a very better composition, then they can remain in the same form for thousands of years, and you can catch those words or sounds. So it is being said that a few years before I heard that some people are trying to catch the words of Lord Mahavir, Lord Buddha, like that. I don't know if they are successful or not, but it is heard that they are trying. So according to Jain scriptures, the words can be in the form of the speech for thousands of years even in the environment.
Good.
As we are creating the houses, suppose if we are putting very good material in the house, this house can be for 500 years or more than that or lesser. But this kind of composition, it depends on the matter, no, the quality of matter, so which you are using. So how much it will be in the same condition, how far it would be in the same condition, it depends on the matter or on the speaker.
Vandami, let me add into this one.
If the speaker is the weak one, then his words will not remain in the same condition for very longer period. After some years or some hours, it will disperse. Okay, it will not be in the same form. So you cannot get the recording of those words. And nowadays you can see that we are speaking here through this online process, and these words can be kept for thousands, for years and years, no? The same word composition, you can listen to it after many years, or new generation can also listen to us. The same wordings are being preserved through these electronic sources. So in the same way, in the environment, the same composition can work for some years.
So, Vandami, let me add into this one. So, Banthiaji, however, we call it a Vargana, right? So how the Vargana is been made of? It is a skand. Skand means it is not just the one single atom. Okay, it's a group of those the similar kind of those the atoms. It has been bonding together and create some kind of those the formation. So whenever this the atom and then the formations comes, it's definitely a pudgal, okay, or it's definitely a matter. So that is the answer of your questions first one. So how it has been, so that's why it's called and matter has yeah, you can easily record it. Okay. And second thing, your question is, and Vandami has explained you very well one, but there is also another portions of those one. However, it means that you know, means as a soul we have a one special quality. It's called a gyan, right? And then the gyan has a capacity to know everything into the whatever it is in form, okay, whether it is in a present form, in a future form, or it is in a past form. So that is the one unique quality that our gyan quality has confirmed. Okay, so whether it has been spoken, those the words are for those, I will say, trillions of years back, right? And still means because the gyan can catch it, it can see all those the paryas. Okay, yeah, on the present moment that the word form, because words, okay, so two has a kriyavarti shakti. So do okay, that is another entire different subject one up there one. We don't want to go up that one. But each matter, or we can say each substance, there is a Vartman Parya is constantly changing. So that is being changed. Okay, but still it has been that the change is always been independent, it is preserves everywhere.
Thank you. What you said.
तो सुरील जी आप ये कह सकते हैं कि केवली जान सकते हैं, क्योंकि
सिर्फ केवली ही नहीं, क्योंकि वो ज्ञान का सब्जेक्ट है, राइट? तो 5 ज्ञान हमें बताया है, मति, श्रुत, अवधि, मनपर्य। तो अवधि में क्या, अवधि में भी कई सारे वो सब डिविजन है, वी आर नॉट गोइंग इनटू डीप वन, बट वो अवधि में जैसे हम पिछले कुछ बहुत तक का अवधि में जान सकते हैं, आगे के कुछ चीज तक का जान सकते हैं, राइट? कुछ समय में जान सकते हैं, कुछ थर्ड मीन्स डिस्टेंस तक जान सकते हैं। So that is what you means. It is a subject of that, the Gyan one. So that is how or what kind of you have. Yes, you can easily know it.
So you need that power to see what
We
was.
have a power. Each one has those the power, because power, that the knowledge
But
power,
it has
it is
not
a quality of a
manifested.
Gyan.
It has not manifested in us.
It is already manifested. You have a Mati and a Shruti Gyan,
But उस
right?
level पे नहीं पहुंचे हैं कि अवधि ज्ञान
अच्छा,
जैसे
आपको आपका बचपन का कोई इंसिडेंस याद है कि नहीं है? आप मुझे
या
बताओ।
बचपन का इस जन्म का तो
याद है, राइट? तो
लेकिन
वो तो हो चुका है ना, वो अभी उसी स्टेट में है कि नहीं है? वो उसकी पर्याय थी उस स्टेट के अंदर, वो तो चली गई, लेकिन वो उस सब्सटेंस में है। जिस सब्सटेंस में जो थी ना, सब्सटेंस यानी कि द्रव्य, जिस द्रव्य में वो पर्याय थी ना, उस पर्याय में चली गई, लेकिन पर्याय का खुद का एक इंडिपेंडेंस एग्जिस्टेंस है। इसीलिए हम बोल सकते हैं कि आप बचपन में आप इस तारीख को जन्म हुआ था, वो तारीख तो कब की चली गई, राइट? फिर भी आपको पता है ना।
ठीक है।
हाँ, तो वो सिर्फ केवली का ही सब्जेक्ट नहीं है। मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि भाई हाँ, आपके पास भी मति है, श्रुत है, तो जिस हिसाब के आपके ज्ञान का जो डेवलपमेंट है ना, उसके हिसाब से आप समझ सकते हो।
ठीक, थैंक यू।
Yes, Priyanka ji, you can also ask a question. Okay, this.
जी Vandami Shamji, interesting. This topic is really very much interesting, as I'm a student of chemistry, so I'm somehow relating all these things. So my first question is, can we say skand as molecules because they are the aggregates? What we Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you can say that these are the molecules, because in molecules, two atoms or more atoms combined together, no? So that
Yes,
can
yes.
also be said. So molecules or aggregates or composition or compounds, all are equivalent.
So when we are saying, as Suril sir said, the Vargana are made out of the skand molecules, and skand molecules are made up of atoms. So,
Correct.
so these are the physical entities. So when we are
Yes.
saying Karman Vargana and Mano Vargana, all these, so
Yes.
how these atoms are created? I mean, are they created or they actually exist and they aggregates and makes those Varganas?
Correct. So these are, as we have already discussed about the Parmanu. Parmanu is not created by anyone. They are existing or pre-existent or self-existent, and they combine together to form this kind of a subtle aggregates. And there is natural process for that also. It is not that the living being is interfering them to combine. So by natural process, they are combining and making this kind of subtle aggregates, and those subtle aggregates are being attracted or grasped by the living entities by their own action or mode of action or their emotions.
Right. And Shamniji, I'm not actually, I missed a little part in the starting, and I'm not able to relate color, taste, odor, and touch, all these things with the Parmanu. I mean, what it exactly is. I'm not able to.
Okay, so see, in all material objects, you find some color, no? Some kind of
Yes,
touch, some kind of
yes,
taste, clear? Some
yes,
kind of
yes,
smell. So
yes,
all these qualities must also be in the atom because out of the atoms, these aggregates are coming into existence, no? So
right, right,
originally they must be in the atom, though atom is not perceptible. It is not
right.
detectable directly through even the modern science instruments or technology. But instead of that, they must be in the original atom. Then only we can see in the composite bodies.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
mean to say if we are if we are going to plant a seed, we are sowing a seed, so it has so many types of atoms. That is why it is taking a shape of leaves, then a fruit, and then a stem. So that
Yes.
seed will be having so many types of atoms, and every atom will be having their own color, taste, odor, and touch qualities in it.
You can say that, but just we have to see that the seed is having some kind of consciousness also. Clear?
Yes.
So the
Yes.
color, every other things are determined by the karmic body. Clear? But yeah, those things are somehow associated with the matter. So the soul is attracting or getting materials from environment and creating this kind of bodies. Clear? So
Yes.
this kind of atoms are getting constantly associated with the living entity.
Okay.
Vandami, let me add into your question. Okay, Priyanka ji. So we have these things. We have already. I think you have joined late, but
Yes.
around our slide, and I think it's around 9 to 12 something. Vandami has already been discussed. What there are the 6 kinds of the skans. That is, we have already been done through, right? So how these things has been happening. I'll just take you these the questions into your language one and really in a deep one. So however, there is a rules. Okay, so and that rules we have already been discussed. If this is the one singular one up, that one they cannot combine with this any one up, so it's always been singular, right? Then there one has a 3 faces and one has a 2 faces. So 2 faces is always been, it's like an odd and even kind of those the things one up there. So whatever it, and same way in your chemistry one too. So there are only certain kinds of those, if the molecule has a certain kinds of those electron, then and then they are making a bond. Correct?
Right.
Right? And the same thing. And then whenever this the bonds is been happening, then what would be happen? So whenever this the bond is happening, then whatever is this the molecule or that the atom is joining to that the bond one, it accept all qualities of that the existing skand or existing molecule. So that's why it's become like a one. And which one are not accepting, or these are going in another group one, they're accepting into that one too. So that is the same thing happening here one too. So and that's how you are, because see, our eyes has the limitations. We cannot see any kind of those the atom. Only things
Right.
we can see through our eyes is all are the skans. So whatever you are seeing, it's everything is a skans. Is a group of those the atoms, right? But what kind of those are groups of the atoms? Is a similar kind. That is why it's called a skan.
Right.
All right.
Ji.
So is something inside one, because see that one is the molecule is such a small tiny things of that one, but it has a groups and different groups is making a one thing. And to give you a perfect example, it is your television screen or your laptop screen, right? It has inside one, it has a 3 LEDs, red, green, and blue. And from out of those, the 3 one, it's created an n number of those the pictures. But whenever you are seeing a white one on that time, you are not even seeing, even though those are the illuminating it up that one, but you are not seeing that, hey, individually all those the colors, certain kind of those the groups is being um, produces certain actions, and that's why you can either read a picture or do anything. And that is the same science is running behind it. I hope I make you pretty much clear, or
Very much. Fine.
okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so now another question. Priyanka has some other question or no?
Yes, I have. Priyanka ji was asking something. When we have only one cell, just she gave an example of stem and leaf and all. So it's the, I think, is she referring maybe Samaniji app or Suril Bhai, whosoever? Is that the question of genetics are we going into? Because human beings are also born out of one cell. But how do we develop the face and arm and heart and legs and everything? So I think what she is, if I
So
like
correct.
that, something like that.
Yeah.
Hansaji, so let me clear into this one up, right?
Mhm.
Right now, according to however Jainism, Okay, our science has not yet reached to the atom level. Whatever we are seeing, it is because what is the definition in ourself is the atom means which cannot be divided into any of those the parts. That is the smallest particle in a matter, right? So
Yeah.
whatever you are saying and whatever right now that the science saying that the atom is still having the three parts. It has electron, it has a neutron, you already
Proton.
understand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is meant that whatever you are talking and whatever science says, this one is the single cellular one up. No, it is not a single cellular one. It is still a skand. I hope I clear you. So whenever you are saying, okay, so that's the human is being born or any kind of those the being born. So whenever the process is being going on, it's already a skand. Then and then it will be, because in a one cell, you will say it has all those the genes and it has the proteins and everything. So it's a, if the Priyanka ji and if anybody is from the science or doctorate one, they know how the cell is being structured, right? Even though we are saying a one cell, but it has so many different components, and each component is made of what? Is made of the atoms. So that is a skand. Okay, right?
Okay.
But whenever it comes to a visible mean, whenever you are seeing that the leaves is coming up, that one, it's pretty much visible. It means that you are seeing those the जो हमने स्कंद के 6 प्रकार बताए ना अभी, वंदामी ने किया, तो उसमें से जो बड़ा वाला है ना, तभी हमें दिखता है. छोटे और उससे छोटे के सिर्फ हम we are seeing one or first second one, right? From the third, fourth, fifth one, yes, it is kind of those the special bits. However, you are going in a lower one up that one, it's usually not been seen through this the naked eyes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's great.
Thank you, Masuri.
Never understood that cell is not a cell itself is a skand,
A composition.
not a parmanu.
Yeah, it is also a composition of infinite number of parmanus.
Yes.
Infinite. So it must have all the different types of parmanus which are required for forming the gross body. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shall I say
Eventually, it must
something,
have all the,
maybe?
yeah. Yes. Sorry.
I actually attended last this thing genetics वाला जो program था आपका, वो भी I attended. तो I remember that जो DNA रहता है वो ATCG करके जो बेस पेयर्स रहते हैं उससे बनता है, और जैसे थाइमीन है तो उसका एक स्ट्रक्चर होता है, केमिस्ट्री होती है उसकी, और वो केमिस्ट्री में नाइट्रोजन, ऑक्सीजन, हाइड्रोजन, ये सारे एटम्स उसमें होते हैं. तो अल्टीमेटली वो एटम्स से ही शुरुआत होती है, वो एटम्स, एंड देन वो उससे मिलकर एडेनिन, ग्वाइनिन, थाइमिन और साइटोसिन बनता है. ये बेसिक यूनिट ये 4 बेसिक यूनिट है डीएनए का. तब फिर वो डीएनए बनता है, एंड देन इट मैनिफेस्ट इनटू द डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स. मतलब कुछ जो है वो डीएनए कोडिंग करेगा किडनी के लिए, कुछ डीएनए का पार्ट है जो कोड करेगा लंग्स के लिए. लाइक दैट इट डिवाइड्स जब सेल डिवीजन होता है. सो अल्टीमेटली दैट एटम.
Yes, it is true. It is said yatha pinde tatha brahmande. It means what is in the single cell, that is in the whole body, okay? And what is in the whole body, that is also in the single cell. Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
So originally it is coming out of that. And there are certain other factors which are also combining with the time. Correct. Any other? So I think time is up. And should I stop here?
So before we'll go, okay, we request everyone to attend a quiz, and if has any questions, please that either email us or also you can also WhatsApp us as well. Okay. And there is last time we received one questions. Can we have the quiz in a Hindi? So I am saying the basic language for the course is English. And even though means that's why we have the discussion class. Any of you are not understanding any of those particular word or terminology or something, that's why in a discussion class it's a free form. You can definitely ask us and we try to explain you in our better way.
Even in Hindi, if it is required.
Thank you very much
for coming and joining the class session. The science part and the other classification is found in clear and distinct language of Professor N.L. Kachara. So you can listen to that. from the second video lecture. Thank you. Now we are.
Thank you, Samniji. Vandami
Thank
Namaskami.
you, Vandamiji. Thank you.